Okay, we are going to continue in Reish Mem Tesim and Reish Mem Tes, and we're going to start Halacha Beis. Asur likbaya be'erev Shabbos sudo mishte. Person on erev Shabbos is not allowed to make a fancy, nice big meal and drink she'eni ragul b'maychachol, something that's extra that you would not do during the week, more of a nicer meal. Vafilu sudas erison. In those days, there was a sudas erison, and then there was a sudas nesuin. So even if it's a sudas erison, you're not allowed to make such a nice meal. Why? Even though it's a mitzvah, we're going to see. Mipnei kavod haShabbos. Sheikonis l'Shabbos kishutoyev lech. We want it to be that a person should come into Shabbos nice and hungry. And v'chol hayoyim b'chlal isser. The entire day is going to have this isser that you cannot make a nice big meal. So let's jump right away into the Mishnah Brura. Asur l'kbaya, the Isla Mikvara, there's a Gemara talks about the Haisa Mishpacha b'Yerushalayim. There's this family in Yerushalayim. Shekava Sudasa b'Erev Shabbos. They would make a Suda, a nice fancy meal on Erev Shabbos, V'nekra, and they got uprooted and they all died. So just showing us how powerful it is that we have to be careful not to eat such a big meal and make such a big meal for the Shabbos. Now we're saying Erev Shabbos. The Mishnah Berurah brings down the Prima Gadim that it's Lav Dafka Shabbos. It's Huadin Erev Yom Tov. Why? The Yom Tov Nami, we have the same mitzvah of La'angoy L'chabdoi. Therefore, the same halachos would apply to Erev Yom Tov, just like Erev Shabbos. So what are we talking about? A Sudas Erison. We said even if it's a Sudas Erison, perish. What happened was in Eras Koidim L'chein. You did the Maisa Erison on Wednesday or Thursday. And then came Friday, you wanted to make a meal. Also, last is a Suda Erev Shabbos. You're going to tell me it's a mitzvah. The after Sudas Erison, it's a mitzvah. He mitzvah. Mikol Makoim Hayaloy Hakdima. He should have made the Suda when he made the Erison. Let's say it was Wednesday or Thursday, he should have made it then. However, Avalim in Eras Be'erev Shabbos, if you did the Maisa Erison on Friday, then Mutter Lasses a Suda, then you're able to make the Suda even on Erev Shabbos. Why? The Kivin the Erison Shari Be'erev Shabbos, Erison is Mutter in Erev Shabbos, it's even Mutter in Tisha B'Av, we're going to see in Hilchos Tisha B'Av. Mishum Shelo Yikdamenu Acher, that someone else shouldn't take this person as a wife, therefore you're able to do it even on Shabbos. Now that you did it, you could do the mitzvah immediately. And this is going to see, we're going to see in a second about bris milah, which we're going to say in a moment how this Dharma is going to bring it down that a bris milah is mutter bezmanai. You same thing. He says hanestuin, not just the erison, even the marriage itself. Their Shabbos in those days they did it at a separate time. Mutter lashes asuda gamke, and the Sharatzian brings down that the Yerushalmi says it's aser because you can't tell me there's a reason of earlier which we saw shalek devenu acher because the Maikshit she's ready and ashes ish minatayra. However, the Bavli is chaylik, and we hold like the Bavli. He brings it down from the Magen Avraham. He says also the Goyin was makel. And prat today that the minig is the kadesh b'shas nesun l'kul amal shari. Today what we do is we do eris and kedushin together. Therefore, he brings down the ma'aser. The Sharatzin says we could be makel, especially today's day, where people I have seen chasnas happen on Friday afternoon. Okay, v'chein, and then he continues in mikamakoim lekatchila toy v'nachoin im efshelitzchois asuda l'machayim acher. No one's arguing that avad and avadi you should try to do the Suda either the next following week or a different time, whatever it was, but not on a Friday. Okay, and they bring them from the Sharatzin because the Rabba was also machmer zem efsher ayin sham, and the mice we should try to be machmer lekatchila like this Rabba, and don't try to. And if you cannot, and if you can for whatever reason push it off, you should. And he says vida. The chol zeh bestudas erison av bestudas oisin. What we do today b'sheduchen shalonu like have a sudas mitzvah. Today I think he's not talking about the marriage. He's talking about what we call a l'chaim or a vart. Kain kasa prima gadim and simin taf mem dalit. However, they bring down a note 7 says we're talking about erison erev Shabbos. He says it's mashmat. All this is by the suda of the erison. However, the nesuin we want to say then that you should not push off the meal of the Sudas Nesuin. Therefore, if someone would get married on Erev Shabbos, he should do the meal Dafka that Friday. And then they bring down what we saw about in note 8, that they bring down from the Pri Megadim Taf Mem Dalet. We're going to see in Taf Mem Dalet that the Suda that we do in our Shidduchim is considered a Sudas Mitzvah. And we're going to see that in Taf Tesvav, in the Sharet Tzion. Lamaisa, they bring down from the Chavetz Yair that Sudas Shidduchim is not considered a mitzvah. And Tak over here, in Reish Mem Tes, it's quite clear that it's not considered a Sudas Mitzvah. Even today, we should not do it on Friday. Especially what we call, especially the Chassidim, they make a real Tanoim. Again, Loi, Mikri, Suda, it's not considered a Suda. Kvoid HaShabbos. We're saying that since a person should not make a fancy meal on Erev Shabbos, because the cover of Shabbos like that, you should come in hungry. You want to be hungry and enjoy the Shabbos. However, they bring down, the Mishnah Berurah brings down, it's Rabbeinu Tam that says this, that the reason why you should not make the meal on Erev Shabbos is since you're busy with the meal that you're currently doing, you're not going to do stuff at Tzarech Shabbos. And the Nafkamina they bring down in note 9 from the Tesefah Shabbos and the Kaf HaChaim is someone who already prepared all his Tzarech Shabbos. So you can't tell me I'm going to be busy because everything, the whole Shabbos is entirely prepared. Therefore, I should be able to make a Suda on Erev Shabbos. However, if you hold the reason is that you should come hungry into Shabbos, then it applies even if everything is ready in honor of Shabbos. Okay, we are continuing in Yud Aleph. Shikanes l'Shabbos, sha'av shaykh l'babayker. Even though you're going to eat in the morning, no one's arguing if you're able to have a nice breakfast. Even today, we try not to wash after chatzos, but breakfast we have, since over here, it's a more of a suda that's a simcha and it lasts a few hours, you're going to end up continuing deeper into the day, and and you're not going to enjoy the Friday night meal. Okay, bris mila. It's interesting, they bring down note 10 that the Be'er Lacha says, the Chashashiv, it's mamish going to go many, many hours. But they're both the same concept. You're not going to have a taiva to eat Friday night. However, we bring down over here now in the Ramah. The Ramah says, Usuda shizmana be'erev Shabbos. Kigoin, the zman to make the suda, for example, a bris milah. I pidyon a ben, someone has a baby on a Friday. So the bris milah is going to be Mir Tashem if it's Be'ita B'zman 8 days later, which results on Friday. Or the pidyon a ben, it's mutter, kei nirili. Don't worry, Julie, you can still join. Kei nirili v'chein haminig pashut. And that is the minhag, that's what we do. Because go see it, you'll see on Friday, people make pidyons a ben, and they make bris milah. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah bris milah. Afilu, let me just finish this. Afilu im eino bashmini leledasai. They bring down from the Magen Avraham, even if it's not its 8th day, for example. Right? Even if it was sick, the baby was yellow, whatever it was, they couldn't do the bris bismanam. And the reason why you could consider that, even though it's not the 8th day, is man kavua, the whole shaita v'shaita zimnehu. Every single second you have a chiyuv to do the bris milah. The asher la'aniche arul afilu yom echad. Even for one day, you're not allowed to leave your baby arul. V'chein, they bring down from the Nishmas Adam, the name of Kama Paiskim, the v'chein pidyon aben afilu over his man. The Magen Avraham argues with this. He holds once the pidyon aben's man passed, you can't call it this man, right? After 30 days, every single moment you still have a chiyuv to redeem, to do pidyon aben. Therefore, they say memela mutter gamkin haseuda, and therefore it's considered you're able to be manshach the suda. Now we saw in the Sharet Tzion that's not like the Magen Avraham. The Magen Avraham holds the pidyon aben. The note 11 explains this in the Arichas, and he says that pidyon aben, that once the Zman passed, you cannot do it on Erev Shabbos. However, what is the halach of a pidyon ben on Shabbos? And therefore we pushed it off to Sunday. There we're going to see in the name of the Avraham that maybe he was mistapa if you can make it to this mitzvah about the tainus. Let's say, for example, the tainus of a sorry made tshuva. Even though we know that the bris milah pushes off the tainus because it's a mitzvah, he says all that stuff go by a bris. Mashenkim opinion a ben. It's not every second So Lamaisi clearly see from the Magen Avraham already over there that it's not so simple to him that there's a chiyuv by Pidyon Aben of Chol Sha'ah v'Sha'ah. Lamaisi the Sharatzin over there brings down in Hilchos Tavkov Samachas that in the name of Kama Achrayim that even if it's on a Sunday that it was a nitcha, you should do the mitzvah, this mitzvah, and push off the fast. So what is the halacha on Tisha B'Av that was chal on Thursday on Shabbos? You end up pushing off the Sunday. And therefore, the Pidyon Aben will come out on Tisha B'Av Shenitcha on a Sunday. We're going to also see that the father and the kohen do not need to be mashlim and tainus. However, if it came out that the Pidyon Aben was not bismanoi, we are going to be mashlim and tainus. Let's continue. One last Mishnah Brura for today is mutter. That you're allowed to make a bris milah on a Pidyon Aben. The gamkein sudas mitzvah. This is also considered a sudas mitzvah, and you should not push it off mipnei suuda Shabbos, because it's considered sudas mitzvah. Makamakim lekatchila mitzvah hagdima b'shachris mishum kavod Shabbos. That's about if you can't to make the bris and the pidyon aben very early, right after shachris. If for honor of Shabbos, we should try Kamosha Mavor, B'Simitov Reit Tzadik Baselin and Sudas Purim. Today, when Purim comes on a Friday, we try making earlier High and Chum. Ubediavad, they bring down from the Bach. Yachala Saisa Filu Mincha Villa Mala, even from Mincha and on. Let's just try to go quickly through note 12. They said that this is considered also a Sudas mitzvah, the Pidyon Aben and the bris. And therefore, they bring down over here in note 12 that the Shari Tshuva was showing from us over here that even a Sudas bris milah, Shalai Bismana, it's still considered a Sudas mitzvah. And now, like they bring down the Shari Tshuvas Arna Elam, that bris, Shalai Sudas bris Shalai Bismana doesn't have a shirish and an ikr in the Gemara they bring down. What about a mitzvah of Sudas bris milah Bismana? Then the Shari Tshuva brings down that it's mamish mid da'araisa. However, the Beisakov says that the mitzvah is only mid da'rabanan. And the Beralacha says that later on, the name of the Goyin, Lenin Sudas Bris Milah and Sukkah, he says that on Sukkos, he says that since the Sudas Milah is not the Raisa, it's not the mitzvah Sukkah, that'll be nafkamino. If you could do it outside of Sukkah. Same thing with a Bachar that became Bar Mitzvah on Friday, the Aruch HaShulchan, the Ksei Shulchan bring down that you're able to make the Sudas Mitzvah on Friday. However, the Reb Nissen Karelit says you should make it on Thursday night. And the Teres Chaim brings down that Avada, it's better to do it on Shabbos itself. That we already saw that they bring down the name of Marshal, that the person comes bar mitzvah, what he does is he gives his Shabbos, his bar mitzvah drasha during the meal, and that's considered a Sudas mitzvah. And today, a lot of people do that. They don't make a bar mitzvah during the week, they make it on Shabbos. And it's considered the regular Sudas mitzvah. What about Sudas Cholamayah? They bring down from the Neshel Avraham that you're allowed to do an Erev Yom Tov. Let's say on Sukkot and Pesach, you're allowed to have a Suda then on Erev Shabbos, and the Chazon Ish would do that. He would have it even, he would wash even after Mincha G'dayla. Even on a regular Erev Shabbos, he would not wash, he would only have fruit. And Lamaisa, Reb Nissen Karelit says that you should have your meal earlier by the Shachrit. What about Rosh Chodesh? That's a mitzvah to wash. They bring them to Rosh Chaim that if it happens on Erev Shabbos, you can make the Suda even on, you can have a Rosh Chodesh meal, even on Friday, because that's the Zmana. And I would have a din of a Suda Bris Milah, Pidyon Aben. And Lamaisa the Aruch HaShulchan says that you should not be Kaveh Suda. And one last note, 13, they bring down that there are more rights about the Purim Suda. That the Purim Suda, you should try to do it by Shachris, and the Mishnah Berurah explains before Chatzos. However, they bring down from the Maril that it's Mutal Haskell, the Purim Suda before 9 Tesha Shais, and you don't need to make it dafka before Chatzos. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to finish Sif Base.